The left is not going away. In fact, I predict this is only going to get worse. Now, Democrats in the U.S. Senate, as we speak, they are preparing a stiff resistance to the confirmation of Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch. And if history repeats itself, well, this obstruction could be just as nasty and divisive, if not worse. For example, you might remember when President Reagan, his Supreme Court nominee, Judge Robert Bork, back in 1987, he was not confirmed by the U.S. Senate. After Democrats, they painted Bork as a sexist and racist, which he was not, and Senator Ted Kennedy said this about Bork on the U.S. Senate floor. Watch this disgrace.
Robert Bork's America is a land in which women would be forced into back alley abortions, blacks would sit at segregated lunch counters, rogue police could break down citizens' doors in midnight raids, and school children could not be taught about evolution. Writers and artists would be censured at the whim of government.
Now, after those lies and scare tactics were used by the left, Democrats, they were able to block Bork's nomination, and that's how we ended up with the term being borked. And that's not all. In 1991, George Herbert Walker Bush, he nominated Clarence Thomas to the U.S. Supreme Court, and Democrats, they used similar dirty tactics. In fact, they had his former colleague, Anita Hill, testify and make unfounded sexual harassment claims against him. Now, Justice Thomas referred to this as a, quote, high-tech lynching. Watch this powerful moment from Clarence Thomas.
And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves, to do for themselves, to have different ideas. And it is a message that unless you kowtow to an old order, this is what will happen to you. You will be lynched, destroyed, caricatured by a committee of the U.S. Senate rather than hung from a tree.
Sad, but extremely powerful. So is Democrats.